This camera has really become one of my favorite cameras. This is the Fujifilm Xm5. Now, not only is it a more compact camera, so without lens here, that's as big as it is. I love that the screen is protected if I have it in my bag with me, like my daily bag, like my purse. I still put it in a little pouch, but I love that that's protected. But I also have loved this because when I want to take photos out and about with my family, with my husband, if it's on a tripod, I can set it up like this. Actually, my husband and I, one time at the park, we just set it on a bench like this, and then we could see where we were to go get the photo. That's why I like articulating screens, so that I can hop in the photo and know where we are. I can do that with other cameras, but it's a lot harder and you tend to have to recheck things. I don't really have to check with this unless I just have to check for focus. I've been using it a lot for little family events lately, especially it's just easier to carry around. Mostly I carry my 35 f1.4 lens with it, but right now I have the 18mm f1.4 lens on here. And I'm gonna share some photos in this video. I went with my mom, my sister, her twin, so my two sisters, and then my one sister's nephew or son, so my nephew was with us too, but he's like 2 months old. We went and did a wedding dress appointment for my sister that's getting married. And because it's, you know, such a special event and everything, I brought along this camera with this lens to capture memories. Now, I had my X106 with me, however, those spaces are usually really tight, so a 23mm lens was kind of tight, and yeah, I could have put the wide conversion lens on, but I just thought this would be nice. So I did use the X100 a couple times for a little tighter shots and just to get a little bit of a different vibe. The photos still look a little different, partly I think because of the f2 aperture, but I think I also had a Pro Mist filter on that one, so it gave it a little more of a dreamy vibe, whereas this was a more clear, crisp vibe. I loved the photos from this, and granted, it was a more documentary style. So when I show these, it was very much just trying to capture moments as they were happening really quick, because it's a very fast-paced appointment. They put her in dresses, bring her out, put her back in, do it over and over again. And other than the last one, which was her favorite, which they put a veil and did flowers, I didn't have much time to get more photos, so it was very much take quick photos, get what you can really fast. And also, my sister's not paying attention to me, so she's gonna be making faces, so not all the photos were winning photos, but it was a great way to capture those memories for our family. And I got some of my mom with my nephew in there, and then my sister, my other sister, so the twin, was holding her nephew, so our nephew, just while my sister was trying on dresses, because it was the sister who's getting married, whose baby it is. So just a lot of family memory photos that I got from the day. And so I'm gonna share them at the end of this video, and there will be a mix of X106 and Xm5, and I will try and put them separate so that you see. I didn't even manage to get any with myself in it. So there's one photo of my shoes that I accidentally took. I keep in there to show that I was there. And then there's one I took of my mom and my sister and my nephew in the mirror, and I'm behind them like this, but my camera was like this. So you can't even really tell I was there for that either, but it's fine. I also did video recording on my Meta smart glasses to get behind the scenes content, which I mostly used for intro to my video on TikTok, and then when I posted on Instagram Reels. I'm not necessarily going to use it for here because, again, the only problem with the Meta Ray-Ban glasses is the aspect ratio. You can't do a full vertical and you can't do a full horizontal. It's like a weird portrait box. So it's not my favorite. I love that I can use them for that, and I love being able to get the point of view. The aspect ratio is the only issue, and I don't think there's any way to change it. I've tried. I have loved using this. I have loved using this camera for so many reasons. My only issue with it, and it's the same with the X-T50 and the X-T32, is that when you turn it on and off, it resets the ISO and the shutter speed to what's saved with the custom mode, which my other cameras like this one, which I'm filming on my X-T4, my X106, those ones you don't have to save the shutter speed ISO with your custom settings, but the other three, it makes you do that, and I don't like that. This one also only has the 4 custom simulations in it instead of 7, which is a downside. But I've really been loving it, and I have actually used it to film some YouTube content. If I wasn't showing it in this video, I would actually probably be filming it on it, because I have really enjoyed filming with this exact setup. So I use this camera with this lens and film some of my videos, which I've used for my other channel. And I've really liked it because for sit-down videos, it makes the videos look very crisp, very good. Well, this is interesting. As someone who does not normally film on this camera, I guess it has a 5-minute cutoff limit because it just turned off and saved. I don't know. Again, I normally film on this camera when I film my YouTube videos anymore. actually more than my G7X, because this at least holds focus, and I like using the wide 18mm, and I can get it to f1.4 if I need it to. I just have really enjoyed using it. I do also like that it has the skin smoothing feature. That's something that I care about. But it's been really great for documenting like small family memories. Like now when we go to my mom's, because I have a nephew now, we take all the pictures. When I go to my mom's house and everybody's there, I usually take my X106, which a lot of times is the camera I use for most things. But I've been taking this camera as well for those nights, usually with this lens and with my 35mm f1.4. I only just got the 23, and I don't know that, because my X106 has the same lens, for just little stuff like that, I don't know that I would need it. So, but I really loved using this. Like, I loved using it on our trip recently when I got photos of us in the mountains with this. I'm really glad I got this lens, and I am not normally a wide lens person. But just like, even, let me show you what it looks like with like a much smaller lens on it and just how convenient it is. So this is my normal setup for this camera. It is so small. This is the 35 1.4. I do have two smaller pancake lenses that are off-brand lenses. They're not as much the ones I would pick because they're so similar in focal length to my X106, and they have higher apertures. So this is my favorite lens, and I love the character of this lens. So I just wanted to come on here and talk about it because I do think that this Xm5 camera is a really phenomenal camera for being less expensive than a lot of Fuji cameras. Yeah, you get a lower price because they took a lot of features out, but it still has so many features in. I know this isn't the camera for everybody, because if you really need IBIS, you really need a viewfinder, then this just isn't the camera for you, and it's that simple. I've had a lot of people tell me why it's a horrible camera and they don't want it, and I'm like, but you don't need to tell me that. It's okay that you don't like those things. But I know so many people who do. Really, not having a viewfinder has not affected me much at all. I have added the small rig thumb grip on here, which has made a huge difference. Like, yeah, it's a little harder to press the Q button here, but I have tiny fingers, I can still get them in there. I really think it makes a huge difference, especially if I have a bigger lens on. But even then, if I didn't have that on there, it's still easy to use. I just can't say enough good things about this camera, and I originally wasn't sure I wanted it. Like, the less custom film simulations is one of the downsides to this. I don't care about the Fujifilm simulation dial here, like we could do without that. And I do wish it had the 7 film simulation options, or like recipe options in here like my other cameras all do, because sometimes I do find myself going, dang it, I want to use this one. Now I gotta go plug it all in instead of just taking my camera out and using it. I'm also not great about trying all new simulations as it is. I pretty much go between Reggie's Portra for just everyday kind of stuff. I use Classic Cuban Negative when I want a certain look. I use Summer Chrome when I want a certain look. And other than that, I have a few like custom ones that I've set on my X106 that I'm still kind of playing around with from other people, or ones that I tried to make, or a very just clear one. But now on this camera, I usually just set that in manual and use that as like a clear out every setting kind of thing. So there's no softening, no grain if I need that. I still use Portra 400 occasionally, but honestly not as much as the others. So those are kind of the ones I go between. We are going to the beach in a few months, and it's really pretty. I have not taken any of my Fujis there ever because I haven't been since I started with Fuji, and I'm so excited for all the photos I'm going to get at the beach there because it's a gorgeous white sand, beautiful blue water beach. I just have to figure out what film simulations I'm going to like the best. So if you have particular ones, I know like I think Pacific Blues is one a lot of people use, things like that, but I'm definitely going to be trying some different ones there and just see how they all turn out. But I really wanted to talk about this camera. I am taking this, I'm actually probably going to take all of my Fuji gear with me to the beach because my sister is getting married while we're there and I am going to be photographed. Well, we're going to finish filming this on my Xm5 with the 18mm because I think that's also part of the reason I like the Xm5 is it is made for video for dummies, basically. I have no idea what I'm setting it on, but I know it works, and I know I can usually film a full YouTube video without it ever stopping like this kept doing. I don't know if it's because this was trying to write to 2 cards or something, because honestly, I have never set this camera for video because I don't do video. I just was like, oh, it'd be nice to have the same color tones that I've been doing lately on all my videos because I don't edit them, I just put a simulation in. I don't know what was going on with this, but either way, I'm hoping the whole video is saved in here. I can watch it, so I assume it's in here, but yeah, so we're gonna finish it on here. What I was gonna say is I am taking all of my Fujifilm cameras when we go to our beach trip, other than my X100V, which is my backup one that I just leave in case something ever happens to my 6. And I probably won't take the X70 because I'm kind of like, do I really need that? This is a lot. So my sister is getting married while we're there, and I am doing the photography. So I know I need a more professional setup for her wedding, but then I want just regular fun stuff for the rest of the time. I am going to use my X-T4, which for photos is totally fine. I'm going to use that, and I'm probably going to use my X-T50 as the backup camera and just have different lenses on them. And also use my Xm5 like I usually do at weddings. So I usually have 3 cameras. It'll be the same kind of thing. And then I am going to take my Xm5 just because it's a small, easy camera. And I figure all this stuff is so small that I could have that in a bag on my side while I'm doing the wedding with another lens on it. So if I really need something fast, I can pull it out. It's a small family ceremony. It's not much. But because we're probably going to be doing it closer to sunset, there might be a lot of people around. I just want to get through things quickly for them. And the rest of the trip, I will probably leave the X-T50 and X-T4 just in the condo safely back there. And I will probably only be taking out my Xm6 and maybe my Xm5 for other stuff. I am really tempted to take the X70 just because if we go somewhere, that's just such an easy thing to pull out and take easy photos. But I'm also like, I don't need it. I don't know that I'll take the conversion lenses because honestly, like if it's raining, I'm probably just going to use my Xm6 the way it already is. For the wedding, we're planning on one day, and if it's going to be rainy, we'll move it to the next day. So hopefully that won't be an issue at all for that. But that's why I'm probably going to take all those and try some new film simulations. And that was the whole point that I kept getting interrupted by my camera stopping. So either way, I wanted to tell you guys how much I'm loving using my Xm5. And right now it's filming with my 18mm f1.4 lens. So hopefully this looks like a really nice quality video. And maybe you can even tell the difference between my X-T4 versus this. With the X-T4, I was filming on the kit lens, so it's the 18-55, which is still a great lens. But let me know what you think. I am really loving this camera, and I'm going to share some photos now.